on to our next announcement. We have representatives from the Montgomery County here this evening to address Butler Pike and the West Valley Green Bridge closures. So we would just ask that they come up and please share with us any updates and maybe some good news.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting us here tonight. My name is John Corcoran. I'm the Communications Director for Montgomery County, and with me is Tom Bonner. He's the Director of Assets and Infrastructure for the county. We're here to tell you where we stand with West Valley Green Road Bridge and with the Butler Pike closure. I'll start with West Valley Green Road Bridge. 3 weeks ago, the county awarded a contract to Loftus Construction Company of Bluebell in the amount of $960,000 to temporarily reopen the West Valley Green Road Bridge to weight-restricted traffic. That would be traffic that will be under 3 tons and not any higher than 7 feet. This will be a temporary reopening. We expect that it'll happen late winter, weather dependent, so we're talking March at some point. It will give emergency vehicles access to the size of an SUV. It won't permit ambulances, it won't permit fire trucks, but they haven't been able to actually cross that bridge in any number of years anyway. But in emergencies, especially severe weather, the emergency management personnel will be able to get in and out of that area. And if there's somebody with an emergency medical situation, you can use an SUV to evacuate them from there. As you know, we've previously reopened this bridge twice, and oversized vehicles have damaged it. This reopening will last until construction for a permanent replacement begins, which we anticipate will be in spring of 2022. The bridge, it was originally built in 1884. They reconstructed it in 1953. One of the major delays to replacing this bridge is that it was under historic review because of its age and its construction. The county reached an agreement with PennDOT that permits us to disassemble the bridge and to move it to another county-owned property, and that will cut off years of historic review delays that would have occurred. It means that all the money that the county is spending for the short-term reopening, those repairs will go with the bridge when we move it to another property. It's also permits us to replace the entire structure, so the new bridge will have wider lanes and sidewalks, and it'll be better designed for flooding that occurs in that area. That's what we have for the West.
How will you keep this time like a big truck from just going? Because in the past they have just hit those headache bars. Like, what are we going to do? How can we stop that?
We'll just have to try and be as vigilant as we can to keep vehicles from going up there and making sure that they're aware.
But there won't be any kind of a structure or barricade that they can't fit through?
Sure. So again, as John said, I'm Tom Bonner. I'm the Director of Assets and Infrastructure for Montgomery County. Just to be clear, the design previously and the design now has changed, and this is one of the most significant ways. The previous headache bars actually presented what turned out to be a safety risk to the trail crossing that is right next to this bridge. We have taken great care to make sure that the new plans and the construction that John mentioned that will be awarded will build structures that will quite literally stop a truck in its tracks. So this is a steel beam that goes over the road.
Oh, good.
This will stop a truck. It will not also get knocked over into the trail. However, I do want to emphasize, also included in this current, what we're calling the interim project, is a series of traffic control measures that extend in both directions from the bridge. So signage, and what that signage looks like and all that, we have preliminary plans that we're working with the contractors to finalize. Once we have the final appearance and that kind of thing, we will certainly promulgate that to everyone. But rest assured that we learned from the first time, and we wouldn't actually, one of the hesitations with this project was that safety element, making sure that whatever structure we put in place was substantial enough to deter trucks from going over the bridge, but also to maintain the safety of pedestrians crossing potentially nearby.
I guess I would just ask, when you're doing all this, and obviously we can't control, I think one of the biggest problems is that a vehicle would get too far and then didn't realize until they were there that they couldn't cross. And I get we can't control if people aren't reading signs, but I would just ask that you do everything and anything you can do to make, the signs light up, make whistles, whatever you need to do so that we don't even get to that point. And again, we can't help if people aren't going to pay attention, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
But I want to make sure that we give everyone warning so that no one can say when they get to that point, I didn't know or I didn't see.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we have been in conversations going back months with Mr. Miller and Ms. Heinrich, where we've been looking at what could that be and what's code compliant. We're talking to you, the public safety director here, the chief of police here at Whitemarsh Township. And so, yeah, absolutely wanting to make sure that people do have an opportunity to turn around in a place that's not, there. So I think that certainly is a priority. It's included in the sort of design package that we did. And so that's what we're...
Okay, thank you.
And I assume that new metal, steel will be coming from both directions. And then my final question is, under this new plan with the historical bridge and reusing it in another location, are we required to use it here in Montgomery County as part of the agreement?
So yes, we are, and that's actually a key reason why we ultimately have decided to do this interim project, because, as John mentioned, money that we invest in rehabilitating this bridge to support the 3-ton weight will not go to waste, because we're going to be using that exact structure elsewhere in Montgomery County in a place based on our PennDOT agreement that serves a purpose. So like whether it's a trail bridge or whether it's a bridge over an existing bridge, we're not really sure. That's why this dialogue is ongoing. But the major development is that from us, with working with PennDOT, that we're able to, as John said, shave significant time off of the overall project duration.